What up, fans of the Shared Heart? My name's Isaiah. I go by Moss. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I live in Orlando, Florida. I work as a server by day, rapper by night. That's who I am.
My name is Felicity Harvey. I live in Orlando, Florida, born and raised. I create content and spread positivity. So I'm happy to help out the Shared Heart experiment.
Who do you love that you should tell more often? Why do you love them so much?
I want to choose my cousin because we had a fallout and he definitely inspired me to reconnect with something like that. I do want to apologize for what I did. I also know that you deserve to hear that I do love you. The last thing that I said was that I hated you. I don't mean that. I was just being very rational about the situation. You know, you're saying some mean things to me as well. And, nobody deserves to be mistreated no matter what the situation is. We grew up together and no amount of drama can pull us apart. I just, do want to admit that I was wrong, but I would also love for you to hear me out as well. I chose you, my cousin, because I do love you and it's a silly situation.
The person I would like to address that I love is my sister, Michaela. Haven't talked to her in a few months. Life happens, people get busy, but she is engaged now. So I want her to know that I'm so excited for her and I want to reach out.
What do you think has kept you from saying, I love you more often?
I would definitely have to say my pride. I like to think that I'm right all the time. And even though in some circumstances I can be, other circumstances it's really not that important. People's pride really does get in the way and you don't ever want to be wrong. Like, who wants to admit that they're wrong? Especially when somebody isn't as receptive to hearing it, I will admit.
I'm a very, I wouldn't say the word busy individual, but I have a lot of things I focus on, and I tend to dive more into focusing on some things other than other things. Everything deserves the same amount of attention that's important if I see some sort of importance. So balancing my time enough to make sure I still reach out to family, even though they're up north in Philly, I'm in Florida. So the difference I know in like different journeys, different paths, but family is so important.
Are you willing to look into the camera and say I love you right now and tell them why they mean so much to you?
Well, Winter, I want to say I love you. You mean a lot to me, and that's why I chose you for this, because we go way back, and you're basically like a sister to me. You are my sister. We've literally grown up together. You know me better than anybody. I would say that's why I'm hurt so much, but at the same time, I know that we can move forward eventually.
Michaela, I love you. You mean a lot to me because not only are you my older sister, but I learned about a lot of things through life, through you, growing up. I've been in Florida for almost 5 years now, trying to find my own journey, but I appreciate you always being there for me.
What could you do differently to show love now that you've had this opportunity?
Winter, now that I've had this opportunity to express how much I love you, moving forward, I would love to be able to support you and show my loyalty to you and just always have your back no matter what. You mean a lot to me and I miss you, so I would love to reconnect.
All right, Michaela, I want to say I love you. I definitely feel like I should have called you more. You're very important to me in my life. You're my sister, you're blood. I can't wait to see where you go, and I need to call you, and I'm gonna call you this week. We're gonna talk. And I'm so happy that you're moving from North Carolina, you're going to Philly, back to be by Eagle Stadium. I hope Dessler's doing okay, and I hope you guys are living your best life right now, and we're gonna talk soon.
The value of the words, I love you. It's truly immeasurable. There's no way to quantify it. Its impact may vary even from person to person, and its value may vary based on how receptive a person is when they hear it. There are so many nuances in our moods, so much baggage and life experience to be considered. It can even mean more to the person saying it than it does to the one receiving it, or vice versa. And yet, it remains central to just about every close relationship in our lives. Why is something so elusive to quantification and broadly open to interpretation so important to us? I might suggest that it's because, as humans, it's directly tied to our identities, who we are, and ultimately where we belong. Graduating high school classmates, that first true love, our parents and caretakers, our sisters and our brothers. Central to many of the most impactful and influential relationships we have is love. We are experiencing these relationships in real time. The love we share is as real as the air we breathe. Where we love is where we belong. Home. Love is where home is. When Felicity expressed how much she loves and misses her cousin Winter, it's because Winter represents a place Felicity calls home, a place to belong. There are times when home needs to be cared for, cleaned up, or even repaired, but ultimately these things represent an investment to ensure that they retain their integrity. And it's worth it because when all is well, it's warm, safe, and happy, a place to belong, a place where our identity is intact. Life is a way of creating opportunities for growth, and being out of sync with home can create anxiety that will continue until we find our place to belong again. Felicity feels this distress and this anxiety. She was willing to talk about it openly and publicly, which isn't easy, but it's worth it to her. She has chosen to put her pride aside, acknowledge that she has had a hand in damaging the integrity of her place in Winter's life, and is investing in the integrity of that relationship to make things whole again. Winter is worth it to her. Moss was keenly aware of who he wanted to choose to say I love you to. His sister, Michaela, was top of mind. Sisters have a way of showing love in a way that can frustrate us at times, yet remind us that we are lucky to have them on our team, supporting us when we're at our lowest points, even showing us tough love sometimes when they refuse to bail us out, and other times being our partner in crime. From childhood into adulthood, siblings share space, resources, and have learned to live side by side as peers, cooperating when necessary to achieve a common goal, compromising and learning to share. These are all skills we will one day need with someone else. Growing together as siblings is a bonding experience. Seeing the best and worst in one another, we can be each other's worst critics, yet we can be one another's biggest fans. I know that Moss is not the only one with a lot on his plate, making his place in the world and discovering that time escapes him. Choosing to acknowledge Michaela's new milestones in life and making a pledge to pick up the phone and make sure she knows he's still in her corner is important to him as a result of all of those years of growing together. They may not live in the same place anymore, but Moss will always have a place for Michaela in his heart. She will always represent a piece of home. Felicity and Moss, I want to thank you for choosing to be open and sharing your stories. You make it look easy on camera, but there are many who may identify with your story today and be inspired to move in a way they may not have otherwise. It's easy to put these things off, to make excuses, or just justify inaction. The most difficult and honorable thing to do is look at your own lives, acknowledge when your home is out of order, and take responsibility for the work necessary to make it right. Thank you for demonstrating what personal responsibility actually looks like. It was awesome meeting you both, and I wish you only the best in your endeavors and in loving those who represent home. To our viewers, thank you for watching. Your viewership is important to the success of the channel. So if you were positively impacted by Felicity and Moss's stories, give this video a thumbs up and leave them some love in the comments below. And you can follow their unique content on social media right here. Also, you can follow the Shared Heart Experiment on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter to stay up to date on the newest episodes. Feel free to check out any of my other YouTube videos where I walk up to random strangers in public places and ask them intimate questions about their lives. Consider supporting the channel by clicking the link in the description below. There you can shop at my online apparel store, StylyLifeDesigns.com. You'll find t-shirts, hats, and hoodies with positive and uplifting themes to complement your lifestyle. When you shop, know that a portion of the proceeds from anything you buy will help contribute to the creation of more positive content just like this. Real people, real life, and real love. Until next time, I've been Kevin with the Shared Heart Experiment. Be good to each other. Thanks for watching.